Sweet.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
It's going to be so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first 2 days, like,
The first day was rough.
Yeah.
It was I was tech support. And then day 2, I just made it a goal to visit classes, which is where I get my fill. So I popped into 12 different Zoom classes
Aw.
and got to just hang out with kids.
That's
It was
cool.
different, but it was refreshing.
yeah.
And
Did she announce you when you came in, or did she just pretend like you weren't even there?
Different teachers did
Okay.
it differently, but
Yeah.
a couple of classes where the teacher didn't recognize that I had come in, the the
Right.
kids were like, Miss, who's
The
that
principal's
person?
in the room. Oh, they don't even know.
Well,
some of them.
are new and don't know,
Yeah.
and then others were like, Miss Paget, no.
Aw.
So it was really cute.
That is fun.
So, but then I just did what I do when I go to class, which is
Yeah.
participate in lessons. So if we were raising our hand to answer, I raised my hand to answer
I
and
love
stuff.
that.
Just kind of modeled what it, yeah.
It's so different from my school experience where the principal had no interaction like that. It was
Yeah.
just,
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's funny because a lot of parents will tell their kids, she should never know your name. And I said, whoa, let's change that. I said,
Right,
my
right.
goal is to be another adult on the campus that they want to see.
Yeah, I like that. Especially in
And-
elementary school. You
Yes.
want that
Yeah.
in those younger grades to not
Yeah.
be afraid, but just, yeah.
So anyway, so that's like my goal. So yesterday was really great because I visited 12 classes. And then I did have a grandma who came up and she was like, I don't know how to turn this thing on. And I said, well, let's just sit right here and I'll show you how to get on.
I was going to say, I bet a lot of grandparents are taking over that role.
And then if they've never used a computer.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That'd be tricky.
So she came up and just was frustrated. And so we got her logged on. She was like, well, that's easy. And I said,
Aw, fun.
So,
Your impressions are really fantastic.
I was a
I
kindergarten
feel like
teacher.
Grandma was right there.
I was a kindergarten teacher. You know, the read aloud, change your
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's so fun. Hello, everyone. I'm Amber,
And I'm Danny.
And I'm Laura.
and we are so excited to be here today. It's our first episode of Stranded, so welcome if you're listening to us. And Stranded is just an honest conversation for parents of preschool to elementary age kids. And we just want to have authentic, real, meaningful conversation because we're missing community, I think, right now.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Definitely.
And the name Stranded is interesting. We came up with it for a couple reasons. You know, first, I think that's kind of how a lot of us have been feeling over the past 5 months, just isolated, kind of alone, stranded.
Totally, yeah. And then we also loved the idea that it comes from a verse in the Bible.
That's right.
Where it talks about community in a very subliminal way. You know, it says a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And I love that because it screams out, we need community. We're not meant to do this life alone.
That's right. We're
Yeah.
definitely stronger together.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited to jump into our conversation today. And I want to introduce Laura a little bit more. We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. I am the only female in my house right now, so girl time is awesome.
Yes, you're ready to talk.
Then
Yes.
this is going to be very therapeutic for you.
It will be.
I love it. Well, Laura is a mother of 2. She is a preschool ministry volunteer, and she has been a long-term public educator for 27 years.
Yes.
Wow.
That is fabulous.
This is not your first rodeo.
It's not my first rodeo, but it is the year of firsts.
Yeah.
Because it
Oh.
feels so different
That's
in
right.
every way.
I bet.
Sure.
Well, and today we're just going to be talking about just this new season that we're in right now. We're back to school, but it doesn't quite feel like we're going back to school in all the ways it normally does because really we're starting out at home with at-home learning, and that's a whole new ballgame.
Right.
And a lot of us are feeling a little uncertain about that
Yeah.
and what that's going to look like. So I just know that you're going to help us today.
I'm going to try.
Yes, and just put our hearts and minds at ease over,
Yes.
this new season. So
Absolutely.
thank you for being here. We're
Yes.
super excited.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because I feel like there are 2 kinds of women here. You know, there are those that are really struggling with the changes. There are some big changes, and we're not used to being so isolated. But then you have another group that's their jam. Like, I have a friend who, when this whole quarantine thing went down, she was like, oh, I'm stuck at my house with my people. I can't go anywhere or do anything.
Yes.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already there. That's what I want to be doing. So let's just stick
Well,
it
I have
out.
a friend that was very excited about it too until she realized her family was there with her the whole time and she had no alone time either, right?
No
she
alone
loves
time.
the being able to stay home, but then
Yes.
there's really still no alone time. You're always together in this small area
Yes.
and you don't get to see anyone outside of that.
No, and all the meals.
All the
all
meals.
the cleaning constantly because you're doing all the meals at home. So
And when you're at home, people are hungrier more often.
All
Do you
the
find
time.
all
that?
the time,
All the
at
time.
different times
Yes.
throughout the day.
Our
So,
grocery budget is just,
yes.
yeah.
But our Starbucks budget and our other budget has gone
Has
down.
gone
so
down.
That, I guess
Maybe
it
it balances out.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I would love to start with just an easy question of how are you personally dealing with the changes right now?
So, to be honest, in March I was not doing well, but then I became determined to make it work. And so, even though my college daughter had to come home, and I was like, this is so not normal, then I was like, well, I'm going to enjoy this time. And so, we started cooking together and planning meals together, which helped take the load off of me. And so, I've just kept the word determined and intentional in the forefront, and that has really just helped me find the joy in some of these different moments.
You know, I really do love that. Even finding a word that you can attach some emotions to or even goals to, I think is so great. So having those two words is really fantastic.
It is. I
Yeah.
like that. Determined and intentional.
I mean, for me, this was from my husband, but my word has been gratitude because I got so caught up in just, you have expectations, right? And that's usually what gets us is our expectations. But I had these expectations and they just weren't happening. They weren't coming to fruition. And so when I changed that word to just gratitude and took some time to think about all the things that were going well and maybe how we were thriving in this different time, it changed. It changed my attitude on so many things.
Definitely. I like gratitude, and I think I can relate to that because I have 3 teenagers, like I mentioned, and I think in the beginning I was so stressed over how they were dealing with this pandemic and staying at home and not getting to finish school and all of those things. And
I think, though, going with the teenagers, I think you have to be intentional about how you talk to them about it, like validate their feelings, but at the same time, help them change their mindset to what is nice. Well, you're getting to sleep in later.
Right.
It's like your alarm
Right.
clock's not going off because you get to sleep in a little bit later.
Yeah.
And you're getting more time at home with your dog, or you're getting to do things in a different way. You know, I know
Absolutely.
for mine, he's gotten to go fishing more than he ever would have had we been in school. And so
yeah,
each day he loads up and rides his bike and goes fishing. I mean, how awesome is that? If we were in school, he wouldn't. And so it's about changing their mindset and being really intentional with validating their feelings and then helping them see some of those positive things.
absolutely. Well, on that, what have you learned over the past several months? Like, is there something that new habits or new, routines that you've gotten into?
Well, I think that one thing is when we were able to go to work or go to school, we had definite boundaries of time outside of the home and time in the home with family.
Right.
And in the beginning, that was really hard. I felt that I always was both working and mom. And so setting boundaries in the evenings, sometimes leaving my phone in the other room. It's okay if I don't answer that text or that call right away. And so that was really empowering for me. And the other thing is just grace. I'm really great at giving other people grace, but not myself.
Yeah.
And none of us know what we're doing right now. We're all walking this journey for the first time.
Right.
And so I think that's one of the greatest things that I've learned is how to give myself grace and that it's okay not to know something.
I love that.
I
There's a
have
lot
this
don't know.
mug, this coffee mug that says lead learner, and it's one of my favorites. And, our journey with homeschool, we've been homeschooling for a while, but it's taken me years to figure this out, that I'm learning alongside the kids.
Absolutely.
So even if you see homeschooling families, they don't always have it all together. We're still learning every year, and I'm learning so much from my kids. So this lead learner is we're all here learning something new, trying to just do the best we can.
I love that. It reminds me of something I heard one time about instead of saying I'm sorry, because I do that all the time.
I do too.
I'm sorry. And I heard someone say, instead of saying that, say, I just haven't learned that yet. So I love that lead learner because I've tried to, and that's helped me a lot just to say, to remind myself that I just haven't learned that yet.
Right.
I don't have to be sorry about something I don't know. If I knew better, I would do better.
Right.
And so we're constantly learning.
Right.
Absolutely. I like that.
I know. So one interesting quagmire, I guess, is how to talk to children right now. Even my children, they range in age from 8 to 14, but there's a fine line of being honest and truthful with them and then not worrying them. And what do you think about that?
So I think that's definitely true, in that we want to be honest, we want to validate, because their feelings they're having are real. The questions they're having are things that they're fretting over.
Right.
And so I think you want to validate how they're feeling, but then help them see things in a different way. And one of the things that I know I do a lot in my life, and that I've helped my kids and other kids do, as parents have called and whatnot, is really talk about that circle of control. And we put all our worries out on paper, and then we move the ones that are within our control into the center circle, and then really think about what are we going to do to control those things. And so when a child is frustrated that they can't see their friends, what are some things we can control? Well, maybe we can FaceTime our friend. Maybe we can FaceTime grandma. Maybe we can do a drive-by and wave at our friend from the car and they're in their driveway. And just giving them some of those outlets where they feel some sense of normalcy, but we're still maintaining a safe environment, right?
I love that so much.
It's so true, because during quarantine when it was super strict, my kids were just dying for some interaction with friends, and we went and did a birthday drive-by. And that was all they needed during that moment. I mean, just literally seeing other people out of the window and waving.
Who thought the parades would be one of the greatest things ever? At first I thought, well, how corny. But then when I got involved in some, I was like, what can we parade tomorrow?
It is. It's just so life-giving to see someone face-to-face. Zoom was great because you could, still communicate and see your friends. But just to, even though you're not hugging or embracing, which I miss right now, but it is great to just be across from someone.
And see the dimensions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Totally.
I love that. Well, let me ask you, as an educator, let's move to that. As an educator, what's been your biggest struggle or challenge over the last couple weeks? I'm sure you've had a few.
So I think the biggest thing for me is really just not being able to see the kids. Yeah. If I ask any educator their why, it's not because they love math and they just wanted to do math all day long, right?
Really?
Really?
Yes.
It's about
that's all teachers did, right?
They constantly. Exactly.
Right. It's really about the people we invest in and that we get to hang out with all the time. And so the biggest struggle was not being able to see my kids every single day and just to check on them and know they're okay. And so just trying to find new ways to connect with kiddos and their families and be there for them.
Absolutely. That's so good.
Yeah, and what really kind of worried me during this whole thing was the kids that really needed the meals or needed that place to go in the day. How have you heard anything on that? What are your thoughts?
So I think a lot of districts around have offered the meals, and I get the perk of if I want to go serve meals, I could go hang out. And so I was able to go see some of my kids, and that was really special. But I think that if nothing else comes out of all of this time of feeling stranded, is that our community has rallied around and we've offered some great resources to people. And I just have really been touched by that. And it gives a sense of hope that we're going to come out of this stronger with a better sense of community and love for one another.
Absolutely. I don't know how we can do it without community. No. I really don't. We need each other so much to just lift our spirits, but also, like you said, the resources. It has been really uplifting to see so many people come together and offer help in the ways that they can, in those resources. And
it's huge. And I do. It almost seems like in every travesty that we have, people come together and, if there's hurricanes or, any kind of damage to a home or, this instance where kids really need food or a place to go, people are so willing to come together. And you sometimes miss that, I think, and just the daily trauma.
Well, I think we get caught up in our everyday lives.
Right.
And sometimes when things are going well, we don't think about others as much. And then it's when we are hit with adversity, then we're like, whoa, what can I do to help others? And then hopefully some of those things stick when we come out on the other side.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, I want to ask this because I know there's a lot of parents out there that are embarking on this schooling at home, right? And we don't feel like teachers, right? We don't feel like we're qualified to school our kids at home. So what would you say to us parents that are in that place right now?
I would say communicate with your school and really talk to the teacher about, hey, what do you expect of me as a parent and what can I expect of you as a teacher? I think, in talking with parents, I hear a lot of them say, I didn't go to school for this. I didn't sign up for this.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Don't want to mess them up.
Right. And the one thing that I always say is we get that. Let us be the teacher and you just be there to support your kid and talk to us. If you're struggling, let us know because we don't want you to struggle. We want to kind of partner with you and help make this easier. And so, yes, I may get assigned something, and it might be really frustrating for your kid. Instead of letting it continue to be frustrating, reach out and let's change it. Let's make it workable, right?
That's great.
So you're really okay, because I know that a lot of moms are thinking, well, I don't want to be that problem parent that's calling up or sending a message or, beating their door down. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like your staff and most principals and administrators are really okay with them?
Absolutely. I mean, I tell parents all the time, if you are struggling with something that we're doing, don't sit there and fret over it. Just reach out and let us know that you're struggling, and we're going to help you. Because our goal is not to frustrate anyone.
Sure.
Our goal is to help kids, right? And so, there's so many examples I can give, but sometimes you as a parent, if you see your kid shutting down, just call it a day.
Right.
I mean, this is hard on kids too because they love school for people.
Yeah.
They love to be around people, and it's unusual. And they also don't look at us parents as the teacher, right? I know with my own kids.
Right, that's for sure.
I know nothing as a parent.
Exactly.
Even though I taught that.
Yes.
I taught that.
Yes. Yes.
And so I have to really create that boundary and know that when I'm at home with my kids, I am not their first teacher. And so if they're struggling, I'm going to let them reach out to their teacher, or I'm going to reach out and just let the teacher be the guide for them and let me be mom and cheerlead them and pat them on the back and tell them it's going to be okay. But if they've hit a wall, let's call it a day. It's okay. And they're not going to be damaged. Everybody is in the same boat.
Yes.
No one's going to be farther behind than anybody else. We're
Right.
all in the same boat.
We are. I love that. And I love the idea of helping them reach out to their teachers, on their own as well as they get older. Of
Right,
course.
absolutely.
Right now in elementary and the parent reaching out is super important. But as they get older to teach them to advocate for themselves, right? And to reach out to their teacher when they're struggling.
Absolutely. And I would even say in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, let them ask the questions. Practice with them at home. Like, you don't know how to do that? Problem? Okay, well, let's practice. How are you going to talk to your teacher about it? Then let them start to do that in this safe environment.
Yeah, kind of like a role playing. You give them that opportunity to learn and to grow.
Well, and I feel like for children, there's all sorts of different styles of learning. Even in my home, while we homeschool, there are some that need to be at the table, with their computer, and one that just wants to lay on her belly on the floor and have all her stuff scattered around. And my son goes outside, comes back in, goes outside. And I feel like that's okay.
Absolutely. One of the things that, I've had some new families ask me, what do we need to do to prepare for this year? And I said, talk to your kid. What's going to make them feel comfortable? And so really letting them identify their workspace, but making it a defined area that they can get up and leave. When school is done, I'm not going to have to sit in that workspace, or I'm going to put my things aside, and now I'm going to just be home and be a kid and have fun, right?
I like that. So are you recommending set aside time? It sounds like you're recommending set aside time or, a scheduled time each day. Maybe the same time each day, and then being able to walk away from that at night. I love that because I think it would be really easy with, like you mentioned earlier, all the boundaries kind of without boundaries, and school's at home and work is at home and we're at home. It could get murky and messy, and where does one stop and one begin? And it could, and so I love that idea.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at your school schedule. Whatever your school is telling you is the schedule, and then beyond that, let them just put it away. Whatever is still left, they're going to have time to do it later. Right. Just give them that break as if they were getting off the school bus, walking in the door, needing a snack. Let's give them a snack. Let's let them go outside and play. We'll get back to school later. Just really try to set up their time so that they feel like there is some structure and some control, and it's not school 24/7.
Right. Nobody wants that. No. We all need a break.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I think just making sure that there's grace in the home so that no one feels that angst at the end of the day where it's Monday and you're already worn out.
Right. From the week.
I still have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How am I going to do this?
Yes, definitely.
Just finding that fine line of, even if you did purchase a brand new desk and brand new all these things in the spot, but they really just want to be over here on the couch. You know, maybe don't stress about that.
That's okay.
You know?
Where are they comfortable?
That's where we're at right now.
I think most important, though, is make sure they put on a shirt, get out of their pajamas,
Right?
right? You know?
Because they will be on a Zoom call.
Right.
And there's also something, I think, mental or psychological, right, about that too. Just getting up and getting dressed.
Getting
and
ready.
Yeah.
Continuing your routines, right? Get up and brush your teeth after, before or after you eat breakfast. That's everyone does a debate, right? But then get dressed and,
Yes.
brush your hair and get ready for the day because you're
Right.
going to feel more like
It's
doing work.
right. And you're going to
Yeah.
feel that it'll become more normal.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting ready for school.
Yes.
Even though I just walked 10 steps to the sofa, I still got ready for school. I'm ready to take on the day.
Yes. And also when we do get back to school, because we know that's all what a lot of us, not
Right.
everyone, but a lot of us are ready for that.
It'll come.
It will be, the kids will be more ready to
Right.
continue that routine if we're practicing that now.
Not a culture shock.
Yes.
Right.
So if there are some parents that are like, this is why I don't homeschool, because, this child is really difficult, or, this one is just so active, and this one wants to sit, you have different variety with multiple children. What advice would you give to that mom or dad?
So in school, we often use a term called join to follow. And it means if you're really struggling with something, I'm going to join in with you and then follow your lead and guide you along the way. So if you have a kid that's really antsy and they need to stand up and jump while they're on a Zoom call, let them, and just kind of join their lead and then help guide them to where you need them to be. And so I think if you do have, like you said, a child that likes to sit at a desk, let them. If you have a child that wants to sit on the floor, let them. If you have a child that needs to move around, create that environment where they can move around but still participate in school. Join what they need, because you're right. Every child learns in a different way, and every child has different needs, and that's okay. And what I can tell you is at school, we join to follow a lot to take their lead, because we don't want to get in a power struggle.
Right.
I know as a mom, it's really easy to get in a power struggle, but at the end of the day, no one wins.
No one.
And so when I start thinking about, okay, my child wants control over something, let me join in with that and help guide them to where I need them to be.
I love that. It's a much more gracious way
Yes.
to get them back on track.
Right.
Rather than that, do what I say. And
I think it's normal as parents. We all have a vision of what we want for our child, or how we want them to act or behave or do things. But we have to understand that they're made uniquely.
Yes.
And we need to accept that and then just really kind of see the world through their eyes and help get them to where we need them to be.
Absolutely. I love that. Join, then follow.
Yes.
So great.
Such a great phrase. I'll have to remember that one.
Join to follow. Yep.
Like it.
I like it. Anything else that you would offer? Any other advice that you would offer to parents this time of preschoolers, elementary age kids
we have to validate our kids' feelings are real.
Yeah.
And then we have to give them some control. So if it's control over where I learn, or it's control over, what I do at the end of the day, give them some boundaries. I think those things
It's
are
true,
helpful.
because as an adult, if you think about control and when you're out of control, how you feel, and we at least have tools in our tool bag to deal with that. Maybe it's anxiety or depression, or need to go drink 8 cups of coffee. I don't know.
That is so me every day. Too much coffee.
But I think right now our kids are feeling a loss of control because nothing in their life feels normal,
Right.
and they're taking cues from us. So we have to validate, and then we have to kind of give them some sense of control.
Well, and everything seems so big. My friend has a kindergartner, and he was just saying, Mom, is the sickness done? Is the sickness here? Can we go here because of the sickness?
Yeah.
So it feels big, so big to him.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to navigate his sweet little kindergarten year.
Right.
And they
So-
pick up on so much.
Yes.
We don't think they're always listening or they're always paying attention, but they are. They hear what we are talking about and what we're stressed about.
Right.
So just being able to, and I think having conversations with them is, paramount, right? Just to be able
Absolutely.
to talk on their terms, and let them know that we're here together. It's going to be okay. We're going to
Right. And life may look different, but there are still really happy things going on.
Yes.
So it's just finding those little blessings.
Yeah, finding the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the ashes, maybe.
I like that.
I like that.
I think one of the biggest things is like the lesson I've learned myself, grant yourself grace. As educators, we do not expect you to know everything, and we do not expect you to do everything just right. So grant yourself grace. Say, I don't know that yet, but I'm going to seek an answer, and maybe you don't know the new program like Flipgrid or whatever the district is using that day, but that's okay. Just ask questions and let us help you and let us partner with you, because we as educators don't expect parents to know it all by themselves.
That's good advice.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds so great. And then I was just thinking how awesome if you could just celebrate on Friday when
Absolutely.
you finished out your week.
Yes.
We used to go get a candy bar just to say it is Friday and we made it through the week.
Right.
So maybe find some wins or ways to celebrate
Absolutely.
and
I
have fun.
think that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
And if you get kicked off at internet one day and the next day you figure out how to stay on, celebrate those little moments too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot of joy in the wins.
Yes.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining us today. I feel like your wisdom and just your placement as principal of an elementary school has really helped us kind of hear how you guys are handling it on the administrative end, and then how moms can give themselves grace, give their children grace at home.
Yes.
I mean, that insight was huge.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Glad you got your girl time in.
Yes.
We filled that cup, right?
Yes. Filled.
I know our cup
Awesome.
is full.
Our cup. Yes.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. I gotta put more fun things in my cup, but
Aw.
that was good.
Well, Amber, thank you.
Thank you.
I always love doing this with you.
I'm glad we got it started, and who knows where it'll go.
Okay, sounds good.
It's only the beginning.